For nearly all of world history, both in society and in the church, women have been viewed as inferior beings created to serve men. Until the last quarter of the 21st century, the language of the church was that of male superiority and female inferiority, when it was then changed to equal but different roles. But this equal but different roles is really a fallacy, because equality cannot exist in a culture where one's role is inherent to one's being. While it can be said that both a colonel and a private are equal, yet have different roles and levels of authority, and a student is not inferior to his teacher, these roles are not intrinsic to one's being. In other words, the private can one day be a colonel, a student can become a teacher. But when one's role in society is fixed and based upon an unchangeable aspect of their person, their DNA, there is no true equality. Much of the concept of the inferiority of women is due to one verse found in Genesis 2. It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. Woman created as a helper for the man. And our understanding traditionally of that verse has given rise to a powerful assumption that the relationship between men and women is one of powerful protector and weaker dependent, with little recognition of the strength that women bring to a life lived together. It is not surprising that the modern church still wrestles with this assumption. Church fathers have long viewed women as inferior to men. Thomas Aquinas once wrote that woman is defective and misbegotten. He also spoke of the weakness of her nature, both of mind and of body, as the reason woman was subject to man. Many church fathers came to the conclusion that the only help a woman was to a man was for procreation. Augustine is quoted as saying, "I don't see what sort of help woman was created to provide man with if one excludes procreation. If woman was not given to man for help in bearing children, for what help could she be? To till the earth together? If help were needed for that, man would have been a better help for man. Same goes for comfort in solitude. How much more pleasure is it for life in conversation when two friends live together than when a man and a woman cohabitate?" The creation of woman out of man is the climax of the creation narrative in Genesis 2. The woman was created to be an Ezer Kenegdo. After we look at this word, we'll realize that rather than being an inferior subordinate, the woman was to be a strong, powerful assistant equal to the man. The Hebrew word Ezer is one of 5 used for the word helper, and it's used about 20 times in the Old Testament, almost universally in reference to God's rescuing power. There is no Old Testament reference of the word Ezer that refers to an inferior, but always to a superior or an equal. It wasn't Eve who was lonely, unable to manage and needed help. It was Adam who couldn't manage alone. And then Eve was created as an Ezera, the feminine form of Ezer. This word does not refer to a lowly assistant, but to a powerful figure who comes to help or save someone who's in trouble. Women weren't created for men, that is, for their bed and board. But women, as descendants of Eve, were placed by God on the human scene as the strong who comes to help save the needy. Kenegdo. This is a combination of a prefix, ke, the preposition neged, and the suffix wo. When we put this word together, it describes a physical relationship, in other words, something in front of or visible to. So God made for the man a helper in front of him. This certainly doesn't suggest under, subordinate, but rather superiority or equality or corresponding to. The noun form of neged is nagid. This word signifies a leader, a ruler, a prince, or a king. It's the term used to describe David's and Solomon's role as ruler over Israel. So we see in this family of words no implication or insinuation of inferiority or subordination. And Genesis 2 doesn't reveal that the woman is inferior or subordinate to the man in her creation, nor is it implied in the text. The translator of the Septuagint also made sure to express this same concept of equality when they used the Greek word kata, followed by the direct object that signifies a horizontal relationship rather than a perpendicular direction. It is implying equality, not hierarchy. So both the Hebrew and the Greek text reveal the equality and similarity of woman to the man. The phrase Ezer Kenegdo reveals the role of the woman is that of rescuer with a strength corresponding to the man, equal to him. Nowhere in the creation narrative do we read that the duties of a suitable helper are different than, inferior to, or subordinate to that of the one she helps. Adam's plight was that while he remained alone, he was only half the story. The image of God in him, itself the imprint of the nature of God, yearned for the presence of a counterpart, without whom there could be no community and therefore no fulfillment of God's design. and Eve was created precisely to help him become with her the community of oneness that God had intended for both of them to be together. Only with woman is the man able to fulfill the mandate to fill the earth and subdue it and rule over the creatures. Only together can they fully represent the Godhead on the earth. Woman was not created to serve man, but to serve with man. She has a strength that corresponds to his, complements him. Woman, created as an Ezer Kenegdo, reveals that God's original design in his creation was gender equality, complementarity without hierarchy.